Hey, hey, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fire. Come on in. Hey, millionaire. Millionaire Q5P. How's it going, millionaire? Actually, I think we're going to have you on tonight. If you're still here, millionaire Q5P. Hey, Linda. Good evening. Main mama in the house. How you doing? Peace, understanding. Millionaire Q5P, you beat everybody here tonight. And millionaire, you are a member of our Telegram room, yes or no? Because I want to make sure, because we need your name and Telegram so we can get you on, so you can present to the world with your great, amazing success and your progress so far. Hey, Grease Monkey. Peace and blessings from the boogie down. Omar. Our amazing Stingray. Hey, Cheryl. Good evening, house. Okay. Millionaire, are you a member of the Telegram room? Yes or no? If so, if not, then I'll have to get you the link. Hey, Mike. Or Mickey or Mikey Allen. All right. David Rojas. How's it going, David? Our amazing Alice. How you doing, young lady? Alice and Sam, our power couple. I like that, David. If you all can hear me loud and clear, give me hit a like and a yes if you can hear me loud and clear. I want to make sure we don't have no bad audio tonight. Okay, thanks, David. Appreciate it. Come on in, beautiful folks. This is Saturday Night Dialogues. This is our early check-in portion. We will officially get kicked off at 9 o'clock for the live, and the dialogues will begin at 9:05. Frida Young. Hey, Jackie. Appreciate it. All right, Rudy. Appreciate it. Jai. Hey, thanks, man of a few words. I'm so used to grateful one, but I still must call you man of a few words. Come on in, beautiful people. All right, thank you so much. Rod, Norman, you can hear me loud and clear. Awesome. Okay, David. Come on in. Early check-in. Where you checking in from? I know we got our main man Rojas in the Boogie Down Bronx. Where you checking in from? Folks, you have any questions? Type them into the chat. Let's go. Hey, Mimi, thank you so much. You can hear me loud and clear. Appreciate it. Whoa, tonight's call. Whoa. Hey, Rex. How's it going, man? Man, that Josh Allen is a beast. He needs to get a ring for you guys up there. I don't know. DJ Moore is good, but I don't know if he's going to be good enough. Hey. Not about the nail. My good man. How's it going? You bacheloring tonight? Uh-oh. Don't get in no trouble. Wife is out of town. Miami. All right, David. And West Coast Florida. We got some Florida folks here tonight. Okay, millionaire, you still didn't answer my question. Are you a member of the Telegram room or not? If not, I need to send you the link. I guess you're not because you're asking. But let me know, millionaire. Come on, answer the question. Answer the question. Hey, Deshante. Oh, thank you so much, Stingray. I'm glad you enjoy it. Greenville, South Carolina. Join me, Jersey for now. Woo! The Knicks. I don't know. Anthony Davis doing it. I mean, not Anthony Davis, but Karl Anthony Towns doing his thing. Jalen Brunson doing his thing, but I don't know if y'all can get over the hump. Minnesota, come on. Wow, you're an Oregon Rex. How did you become a Buffalo Bills fan? That's awesome. Okay, millionaire, when we're ready for you to come on in, I'll send the link because I'll drop the link for you to get into the Telegram room. South Louisiana. Okay. Wow, David, 2 years. That's awesome. Glad you're here. Hey, David, do you like the live stream better than Telegram? Because we've been in Telegram exclusively for 2 years. Australia. Welcome, Linda Hodge from Australia. That's so awesome. Garlic String Bean in the house. One of our amazing founding members in the house. Okay, Michael Davis, definitely in the house. Hey, G-Dog, let me ask you a question. I see your question. What's your understanding of how the RV works and what it is? For those that know, this is how we teach you how to fish instead of giving you fish. The beautiful Brunette Grant. Brunette Grant, I wish I can drop the gifts, your special gift in the chat with you walking into the room with your business suit and briefcase on. The sniper is officially in the building. Trade. Yes, indeed. Tonight we are going to show you how Iraq is building confidence in the dinar. Of course, we're bringing receipts. Hey, Crush. Howdy. Shout out to the OGs. That's right, Alice. We're going to show you Vietnam. Definitely Vietnam got the green light for their upgrade. This is huge. Huge. We've all seen it coming. Goldilocks has been reporting this since last year. We did several podcasts, reports, detailed analysis last year on the FTSE Russell before Vietnam was even considered We showed all of the receipts that they would most likely be considered, and here it is. They're in. Venezuela. Tonight, we're going to show you how the Bolivar is going to change. The rate is going to change. There's something that was announced this week that Goldilocks shared. Many people may have missed it. You're going to find out tonight what it is about the Bolivar, what Venezuela is doing. Also, we're going to touch on how currency exchange rates go up. We're going to take you right to one of the international sources, which some of you already have relationships with this particular source. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Loesch. You got that right, G-Dog, Big Doug. It is not a flipping of a switch. You can say that. Please type that into the chat if you don't mind, in all caps, G-Dog. There is no such thing. You got that right. If you just coming into the room, please hit that like button. Let YouTube tell the world we are here. We are live. Let's get the word out. And we're going to have millionaire Q5P, who is going to share his success with his bankers tonight. Understanding has asked the question, is Vietnam ready to go or just upgrade in the system? Do you know, understanding, what the upgrade is? The upgrade, understanding that, gives you the basis for the answer to your question. And then also, understanding, this is something I want to share with you that many people that have already established relationships with bankers will also tell you. When it comes to understanding the revaluation of currencies, some of what you have thought, there's a part of, how can I say this? I think all has said it very, very, very well. You have to undo some of the things you learned before, some relearning. Because this is where clarity comes in for understanding how currencies revalue. So if you can, okay, got it, okay, no, all right. So in relation to your question, understanding about the upgrade, you have to understand the upgrade is directly connected to the Vietnamese dong. So when you ask, is just the upgrade, if this just upgrading to the system, you have to understand the magnitude of what that upgrade is. And I'll explain it a little further tonight, because we're going to touch on that also. Understanding. But excellent question, understanding. Excellent question. There you go. Appreciate it, G-Dog. Thank you so much, a man of a few words, for greeting. Try, please continue to greet new people, welcome them with open arms, with love, like y'all always do. Our funny farmer is in the house. Nova Nickus. Good evening. In Nikki Love. T. Nikki Love. Good evening. Awesome understanding. And understanding, you'll get a better understanding. I love your name, by the way. Understanding self. You'll get a better understanding of what the upgrade is for Vietnam and how it affects the Vietnamese dong. You'll get that tonight. Welcome, 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 everyone. This is the early check-in. Hey, Frederick's dog. I love your emojis, Frederick's dog. The Caramel Santa. I like that name. Good evening. Tawana, come on in. Welcome home. For everyone that's your first time here, welcome home. Welcome home. Thank you so much, She-Hulk. Appreciate you, beloved. Appreciate you so much. Hey, Stream Bean, where's Sally I Am? I know there's a crew. It's the Golden Girls. String Bean, Nova Knickers, and Sally I Am. Amen, Brunette Graham. The beautiful Brunette Graham. Thank you for sharing that. Our new members, you're an important part of the tribe. That's right. Hey, Medina. How you doing, Medina? Come on in. Wipe your feet, clear your mind, clear your spirit. You're going to be educated tonight more with receipts and facts. The information that Goldilocks always shares, the actual financial sources that you can vet yourself, research yourself, no opinions. No gut feelings, none of that. Strictly facts to help empower you and not give you anxiety from a bunch of, well, I won't go there. Magic Logistics, good evening. Hey, Gerald Washington. Jeremiah from Antigua, locked in. Come on in. Linda Armstrong, good question. You have to determine if whatever currencies or assets, let me take that back, currencies or bonds that you may hold, if they're collectibles or not. Don't concern yourself about what currencies are changing. But if there's something that is a collectible, you can do research to determine if it is a collectible or not. Linda, are you familiar with ISO 4217? Thank you so much, beautiful Brunette Grand. Yes. Yes. Yes, folks. Hype the calls. Appreciate you so much, Brunette Grand. You are so amazing. Hey, Peggy. Hey, Maria. Keep the faith. Are you here? I got you, Medina. Hey, Control. I think you asked this question. I believe you're the same person that asked this question last week. I'm not sure, Control. But if you're the same person. But the actual specific date has not been announced by the WTO, but they have announced and in writing that it is in motion. Yes. Greetings, TJ. Yeah, Linda Armstrong. It is. I'll type it into the chat. All good, Nadia. Come on in. Howdy, Dee Dee and Dale. Peace and love, Sean John. Interesting name. Yes, so regarding collectibles, as a matter of fact, Linda, wherever you purchased your currencies or collectible bonds from, whatever website, there's disclosures that typically up there that shows you whether or not it's a collectible. But you really want to know if whatever you've purchased or invested in is actually recognized in the international banking system and will be involved in any currency movement. Look on the ISO 4217. What ISO stands for, Linda, is International Standard Organization. In fact, Linda Armstrong, I want you to type the 3-letter. No, in fact, you know what? Tribe. Let's show Linda. Let's help her out. Type the 3-letter code for the Iraqi dinar into the chat. Do that real quick so we can show Linda a little something. Give her a quick education. Bling a lot. Come on in. Good evening. What's the 3-letter code for the Iraqi dinar? What's the 3-letter code for the Vietnamese dong? There you go. There we go. IQD. Linda. ISO. The International Standard Organization is a organization of national currency codes. The IQD is on the ISO list of international standard codes. Therefore, if your currency instrument, whatever you purchase, if it's not there, it's like the OJ case. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit. So therefore, if it's not there, it doesn't exist. It's not recognized by the international community. And there you go. For the Vietnamese dong, it's the VND. For the Bolivar, it's the VES. Those are the International Standard Organization, ISO. Those are the actual codes. See, we're giving you an education tonight to know more about what you've invested in. These are the things that you need to know more. See, it's best to understand what you hold instead of when someone is telling you it's supposed to happen, because people have been hearing that for 20 years every single day. But when you know what you hold, I'm thinking of Willie Nelson right now. Know what you know when hold on, but you gotta know what you hold. Hey, Captain, check the ISO 4217 list and see if the Zimbabwe bonds in there. As a matter of fact, are you aware that the Zim bonds are collectibles? Yes, indeed. She-Hulk, thank you, beloved. In fact, folks, She-Hulk is going to drop the link to the ISO 4217 list. The call doesn't start until another 5-10 minutes, so this will be a quick time for you all for anyone that needs to know about their currency. She-Hulk is going to drop the link so you can get educated. Okay, Scarlet String V. Awesome. Glad you got a chance to see Sally I Am earlier today. Hey, Med Blockham. Looking for a miracle. Oh yeah, Kenny Rogers. That's right. Thank you, Lockwall. Kenny Rogers. Yes, I said Willie Nelson. Kenny Rogers. Yes, you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. Know what you hold. Thank you, She-Hulk. The ISO 4217 list was just dropped right into the room by the amazing She-Hulk. I gotta brush up on my country music, y'all. Folks, you got to know what you've invested in, because many people have invested in things that it's not even recognized in the international banking system. And many of the tribe who's here, they've seen actual receipts by the SEC, by the International Standard Organization, by the U.S. Treasury, on certain well, folks, you got to know, be careful. Just because someone says to believe something, it's best to do your due diligence. This is one of the reasons why we give you the receipts up front. Goldilocks shares the actual sources up front, so you are empowered to have the information and knowledge yourself. What year on the dong? What do you mean by that, Mary Sue? I don't understand your question. Please be specific. Thank you. That's right. Thank you so much, Alice. There's Sally I Am. She just got off of work. Sally I Am. I heard you saw the amazing String Bean earlier today. You was slaying hair all day. Come on in, come on in. Hey, just so you know, Captain, this is not a debate room. And I'll highly encourage you not to attempt to go back and forth with the sniper. This is not the place for it. Come on, folks. Welcome home, new beautiful people. Yes, very good point, Brunette Granish. The ISO 42, folks, the ISO 4217 list is the actual currencies that are recognized in the international banking system, and the codes that are now and will be embedded into the new banking system when rates change. Exactly. You got that right, Nova Knickers. If it's not on the ISO 4217 list, it's not an active currency. Okie dokie. All right, Captain. You do what you want. And so do I. Goodbye. She-Hulk. You see Captain, Captain? Please do the honors and She-Hulk him. Hey, beautiful folks. It is April the 11th, 2026. Welcome to Saturday Night Dialogues. We have an amazing call for you all tonight. We've been here now for a good half an hour with our early check-in and some early Q&A. In 5 minutes, we'll get the call kicked off. All right. And I got to do some house cleaning real quick. All right, folks, we got an amazing call for you all tonight. We're going to go right to Iraq. And we are going to show how Iraq is building the confidence in the global confidence in the dinar. And then we're going to show Vietnam got the official green light for their upgrade, and we're going to explain what that means for the dome. Exactly, med block. Then we're going to go to Venezuela. We're going to show you the proof, receipts of how the Bolivar is being prepped to change. Then we're going to go to one of the international funding sources. That's one of the top 3 international firms involved with the RV and what they're saying about currency exchange. We're going to go right to that source and we're going to show it to you right on your screen so you can screenshot, you have the proof. We're going to give you an education with love and sprinkle it with some good wisdom for you tonight, folks. Thank you so much, a man of a few words. Thank you so much for supporting the chat with Super Chat, supporting the community. You're so kind. Thank you so much. If anyone you would like to support through Super Chat, the community, help get the word out, like a man of few words, you're more than welcome. Hey, the Caramel Santa. In 2 minutes, folks, we're going to get kicked off officially. Thank you, Magic Logistics, for contributing to the community and helping to get the word out through Super Chat. You are amazing. We appreciate you. Come on in, folks. Welcome home. Welcome home. We welcome you all with love. And folks, please come in, wipe your feet. Show respect to each other. Show love to each other. Or we might have to get a cleanup on aisle 6. We don't want to do that. But sometimes we'd have to. All right. All right, beautiful folks. Welcome on in. It is Saturday Night Dialogues. It is April the 11th, 2026. Tonight's call is jam-packed. Let's go get into some prayer and get going. Father God, we thank you for allowing us to be here again in your presence. We thank you for just being you. Thank you for being the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning, the end. We give you honor, we give you glory, and give you praise. First and foremost, before anything, before we begin, we come to you with grace and with honor. We ask that you give us the peace that passeth all understanding. We ask that you bless the minds and the hearts of everyone here tonight. We ask you to give each and every person that peace and that understanding they need, as this blessing that you have bestowed upon us is en route. In your precious name, we pray. Amen. 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 All right, folks. Real quick, I want to give you some quick rundown on some quick announcements. The Goldilocks QFS dialogue room. That is, of course, a read-only room. That is where the tribe, Wiley, myself, have been there. We were there for 6 hours a day, sometimes 7 hours a day. No, actually 10, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, bringing forth Goldilocks articles, including the 8 steps that we shared and the knowledge we shared with our members, who so many hundreds of thousands who are now completely set and prepared at the banks with their bankers. That is where we did it at. That was ground zero in the Telegram room. Then also, of course, we have Goldilocks Global Banking News podcast right here on YouTube. Now that we are our 6th week, our 6th Saturday live, because we were doing our lives only in Telegram for a year and a half, almost 2 years. But of course, right here on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn your notifications on. We are bringing forth, as always, the podcast every day from Goldilocks articles, so that you are aware and up to date on the RV. Then, last but not least, we have Goldilocks GlobalBankingNews.com, the official website that, of course, many of you are aware of. And we are, I would say, about a week out from having the 8 steps centralized onto the website, so that you'll be able to have access to the 8 steps, which will include Wiley's questions. I've been getting a lot of messages where people just don't have access to Telegram, don't know how to navigate it to find the 8 steps, and many people are being left behind by not having that access, and they want to catch up with many of you who already have your bankers established and relationships established. We're going to make it centralized there. I want to give a quick shout out and thank you to Steve C. and also New Babies, who shared last Saturday on the call their amazing bank stories and updates. New Babies gave a brief one, but we're going to do a call where she's going to do a full update, because 2 weeks ago, no one can hear her on the call, and that was because of my audio, but it's all fixed now. Then tonight we have Millionaire. We have Millionaire Q5P that is going to share his bank story, and is Michael Coleman. Michael Coleman, if you're in the chat, please let it be known. Type that you're here. Michael Coleman, if you're here, let it be known. All right. And if someone can tell me, maybe Sniper or Peculiar Ram, let me know, or She-Hulk, let me know if Michael Coleman comes into the room. Also, I want to quickly acknowledge some amazing folks that supported the channel through Super Chat on last Saturday's live. A man of few words last Saturday, and just this Saturday already. Thank you for helping us to get the word out, to push this call to as many people as possible, and supporting the community. The beautiful brunette Grand, thank you so much for supporting the community through Super Chat last Saturday. Lobster Lady, our awesome member from Vietnam, thank you as well. And in fact, Lobster Lady, you have your call, your meeting with your wealth managers on the 15th, I believe, and we should be having you on the call on the 18th. I haven't seen Lobster Lady. If you're here, let me know, Lobster Lady. And then the amazing Alice, thank you so much for supporting the community. You and your amazing husband, Sam, thank you so much for supporting through Super Chat. We appreciate you all. Folks, we are going to get this kicked off for each and every one of you tonight. Let's go. I don't think I missed anything. let's get right into it. All right, real quick. Now, here we are, folks. This is where it all starts, right from the root of it all. The political article from the Trump administration. And folks, pay close attention. And I know many of you have seen this article or heard this article before. Each and every time, it should resonate more, and you should learn and pick something up different, because it absolutely is connected to everything that's happening right now in the global banking system, in geopolitics right now. Quote, currency revaluation. Folks, it doesn't get any more clear than that. The first two words of this article from the Trump administration. This is from April 2024, folks. Speaking of what was going to happen in the second Trump administration. Quote, currency revaluation is likely to be a priority for some members of a potential second Trump administration, mainly because of the viewpoint that an overvalued dollar contributes to the trade deficit. Folks, remember this tonight. So currency revaluation, folks. So you mean the Trump administration is connecting the trade deficit and trade with currency revaluation? Folks, type into the chat trade deficit, because you're going to see from a source tonight that this is exactly how currency exchange rates go up. We're going to get to it. Type trade deficit into the chat. So now it continues, but weakening the dollar could have far-reaching consequences, from sending consumer prices for imported products soaring. This is imports, folks, imports and exports, to inviting retaliation from other countries and threatening the dollar's role as the world reserve's currency, which would undermine U.S. sanctions on adversaries like Iran and Russia. This was from April of 2024. Currency revaluation, keyword. Trade deficit, keyword. Weakening the dollar, keyword. Iran, key country. All right? Now. We have the amazing, awesome, Peculiar Ram that is going to come up to the mic. 1 second. Let me go in here and join her. Peculiar Ram, if you can hear me, if you can unmute. Peculiar Ram. Oops. I see you had to go out and come back in, Peculiar Ram. If you can unmute. There you go. Peculiar Ram, you can unmute, young lady. Don't tell me we got to go into the main room. All right, Peculiar Ram, you're not able to unmute. I saw you unmute for a second. Okay. Sniper, are you able to unmute? Okay, I see you, Sniper. So what we'll do? Okay. I'm going to jump into the... Join me in the... Okay, Sniper, join me in the main. Sniper and Peculiar Ram, join me in the main. And folks, only Sniper and Peculiar Ram. Join me in the main room, Sniper and Peculiar Ram. All right. Okay, here we go. Can you guys hear me? Okay, there we go. Can y'all hear me?
Let me see.
All right, thank you so much. All right, appreciate it. All right, Peculiar Ram, you ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
All right, and real quick, Neil Christensen, Varys Zanders, and Mo Betta. I need you all to go into the YouTube chat. Not here. This is only for the guest speakers. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, Kiran, floor is yours.
Currency revaluation is likely to be a priority for some members of a potential second Trump administration, mainly because of the viewpoint that an overvalued dollar contributes to the trade deficit, said one former Trump administration official, adding that Lighthizer and his team are the primary advocates for the approach. But weakening the dollar could have other far reaching consequences, from sending consumer prices for imported products soaring to inviting retaliation from other countries and threatening the dollar's role as world reserve currency, which would undermine U.S. sanctions on adversaries like Iran and Russia.
Thank you so much, beloved. Now I know
You're welcome.
you haven't been here in a couple of weeks. You might be a little rusty, but let's get on down to this Iraq article.
Never that. All right.
Iraq,
You ready?
yes, Iraq stands at an
All righty.
exciting crossroads.
Iraq stands at an exciting crossroads of renewal. Prime Minister Mohammed Shai al Sudani is leading a pragmatic reform experiment that prioritizes what Iraqis can see and feel every day. Smoother roads, reducing frustrating traffic jams, reopened bridges, reconnecting communities, and more reliable electricity, brightening homes and businesses across Baghdad and beyond. Half-built flyovers are finally completing, turning long-stalled projects into symbols of
And
progress.
folks, the reason why that Iraq is reporting this so heavily right now, is because they are looking to garner attention from the global economy, from countries around the world and global investors to begin to invest more heavily into Iraq. And we're going to show you what that does for any country when you have global investors that begin to invest heavily into a country. It directly affects their currency. Therefore, look at this as the prime minister of Iraq is promoting Iraq to the world to attract more investors, because he knows that this is a part of showing the stability of the Iraqi dinar, showing the confidence in the Iraqi dinar. Because folks, when foreign investors from around the world invest heavily into a country, it creates more demand for that country's currency. Therefore, by the prime minister and this major reform, additional reform and promotion of Iraq, is so that it creates more of a demand for the Iraqi dinar in the global banking system. And I know some of you are thinking right now, what the HE double hockey sticks does this have to do with the dinar? So folks, but if there's no demand for the currency, that means it's not as attractive. See, and I know many of you are thinking right now that it's a demand for you. It's a demand for people in dinar land. But folks, that's less than 1% of the world. That is not where the major demand comes from. It comes from, just like on last Saturday's call, for some of you who are not aware. In fact, for those that were on the call last Saturday, and we showed you the receipts, what's that $1 trillion number for Forex that trades daily, not yearly, not monthly, not weekly, but daily, every day? What's that amount in Forex that trades around the world from the institutions, the financial institutions who move currencies around the world? That is where the demand comes from those who have the trillions, 16.9, 9.6, almost 10 trillion per day that moves in Forex. That is where the demand comes from those who have trillions, which are many of the wealth management firms, that folks here already have their relationships with. Go, young lady, these tangible improvements.
These tangible improvements are restoring faith in the state and delivering short-term stability. Sudani's approach focuses on infrastructure, energy enhancements, and ambitious regional integration, most notably through the visionary Development Road Project. This initiative aims to transform Iraq into a vital trade corridor linking Asia, the Gulf, and Europe, fostering new economic opportunities beyond oil.
New economic opportunities beyond oil because, folks, 90% of Iraq's revenue comes from oil. So what the prime minister is doing is he pretty much is promoting and selling Iraq to the world. And the initiative through the Development Road Project, which is a project that they began several years ago, but now it's more heavily being connected to the international community because of Iraq's ability to connect to the international community in itself. This is where also the World Trade Organization and Iraq's most likely accession will foster Iraq to also be able to connect to the international community. And also, I want you to think of this, you're going to hear tonight, international correspondent banks. These are the banks that connect Iraq or any country that has been desolate and behind. The international correspondent banks connects them to the international banking system. What happens with the Development Road Project and what the Prime Minister and the administration there is pushing now is to further connect Iraq to the international world, which is a way to also connect the Iraqi dinar to the international world. While challenges like heavy oil, go ahead, young lady.
While challenges like heavy oil dependence persist, the momentum is undeniable. Improved market organization scores and fiscal stability reflect steady advancements in the economic framework. Citizens are experiencing more predictable daily life, and the government's push for diversification, private sector growth, and better service delivery signals a commitment to building a resilient, modern Iraq.
So what they're doing, folks, the initiative by the Prime Minister is to improve the conditions of the people. Oh, I know. Many people think, well, Freda, the conditions of the people would be better if they just revalue the dinar. Oh, did you think that came from the HCL? Folks, did you know the HCL, the oil revenues, goes to pay government salaries? It goes to pay for pensions, the infrastructure, roads, bridges, electricity in Iraq. It does not go to the people. So when you're thinking, if you're thinking that to a better life for the people just to revalue their currency, it doesn't work that way. Because for those of you that are not aware, the militias of Iran are running rampant in Iraq. We showed several weeks ago from the U.S. Department of Treasury from just October of last year that identified the Iranian militias operating in Iraq's banking system, where they smuggle the U.S. dollar and dinars, mainly the dollars, from Iraq to Iran. Why? Because Iran is under U.S. sanctions and they don't have access to U.S. dollars. So, the importance of the Prime Minister promoting Iraq to the world is to strengthen the stability of the dinar, but also the improvements and the reforms that is being pushed right now in Iraq is to provide a better life for the people. That does not come from dividends paid from oil revenues. We've shown you the receipts. We've shown them that this does not exist. I know that caught legs many years ago and is running all over Dinar land, but it's just not facts, folks. I know today, April the 11th, the president of Iraq has finally taken office. We've shown you, for those of you that are right here in the chat, you remember seeing the receipts. You know. In fact, type it into the chat. What does the president of Iraq have to do with the Iraqi dinar? Type it into the chat for those that have seen the receipts. Based on Iraq's constitution, the president of Iraq has no power, nothing to do with the Iraqi dinar. The central bank of Iraq is responsible for the exchange rate. I just had to preface that while we're on Iraq. For holders of the dinar, young lady, you can go ahead.
For holders of the Iraqi dinar, this period sparks real encouragement. As reforms strengthen institutions, enhance energy self-sufficiency, reduce wasteful imports, and expand non-oil revenue streams, the foundations for a more stable and potentially stronger currency are quietly taking shape. Iraq's growing foreign reserves, banking modernization efforts, and focus on economic integration create a supportive backdrop for the dinar to reflect the country's underlying potential over time.
Go ahead.
This is more than policy. It's a story of resilience and vision. Iraqis and observers alike can draw inspiration from a nation turning visible progress into lasting hope. With continued focus and regional partnerships, the future looks brighter, rewarding patience and belief in Iraq's capacity for transformation.
Folks, this comes down to this reform package that the Prime Minister is pushing is for the improvement of Iraq for the people, is basic infrastructure, basic water, running water, roads, bridges, electricity. Did you know that Iraq gets majority of their electricity from Iran? Folks, just the basics of daily living that many of us who are in first world countries may often take for granted. Those basic necessities of daily life of running water, electricity is what Iraq needs, and that's what the Prime Minister is pushing. But Iraq has made tremendous progress and they've made tremendous milestones to this regard. But now the Prime Minister is pushing it more because they've reached certain steps now that he can go to the international community and request for foreign direct investors to come to Iraq, to pump money into Iraq, because that strengthens also the Iraqi dinar. And that happens, folks, believe it or not. It happens inevitably if Iraq is so blessed to get accession to the World Trade Organization. The dinar will have no choice but to be on the international stage. But now I know many of you thinking, immediately your mind goes to rate. And you think about the rates you've seen printed all over the internet. I just want to encourage you to understand, and this is when we were in the chat, in the early check-in, I would encourage you to understand more of what you hold over how much you're expected to get from it. Because if you don't understand what you have, it's hard for you to even communicate with the actual bankers on how to get you to where you want to be with your wealth. All right, young lady, you ready? Let's go to
Yep.
Vietnam. Folks, let me explain what the FTSE Russell is real quick so you understand. I'm gonna make this very brief. The FTSE Russell, when you think of the New York Stock Exchange, the London Stock Exchange. Think of stocks, bonds, currencies that reach throughout the world, through every country's Treasury Department, through every country's central bank. London Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange. Vietnam, folks, was a more so communist country. They are not the communist country per se anymore, especially in their in their economy. The FTSE Russell is owned by the London Stock Exchange. This upgrade gives Vietnam and the Vietnamese dong for the first time the ability for the dong to move throughout the world, through others, into other countries' stock exchanges. There are about 40 different Vietnamese stock companies that will go into the FTSE Russell, therefore to the London Stock Exchange, which is connected to the New York Stock Exchange. This is a global undertaking for the dong that has never existed before for Vietnam. Go, young lady.
FTSE Russell confirms Vietnam's upgrade to emerging market status. On April 7th, 2026, FTSE Russell confirmed that Vietnam has met all requirements for reclassification from frontier market to secondary emerging market status in its global equity indices.
Okay, 1 second, beloved. Folks, just so you know what frontier market, this is, how could I make this plain? This is where the Vietnamese stock market was poo-poo. It was really like unrecognizable. No status. Emerging market status is VIP for the dong and VIP for the Vietnamese economy to the global market. This is the expansion of Vietnam's economy and the expansion officially for the Vietnamese dong. Now, when you think of Vietnam was closed off to the world, and the dong was closed off to the world before this, there was no way the Vietnamese dong could go up in value while it was closed off to the world, because it was under a communist economic regime. Last year, in the summer, Vietnam's political parties passed almost 40 reforms in order for them to qualify for the FTSE Russell, where the actual meeting for the FTSE Russell was October the 7th of last year, to see if Vietnam would get in. Goldilocks showed that Vietnam passed all of the requirements way before October. I'm sure you remember this, Peculiar Ram.
Yeah.
Because you read it on the call. So now we're at the next stage where Vietnam and the dong is officially in. Go ahead. This long-awaited upgrade.
This long-awaited upgrade, first announced in October 2025 and subject to an interim review, is now locked in for implementation starting September 21st, 2026. The move reflects Vietnam's significant progress in market reforms, particularly improvements in market accessibility.
Folks, remember this key word, market accessibility. Market. This is going to come up again. Market, market, market. This is why when President Trump negotiated with Vietnam, I think it was June, July last year, for the tariffs, President Trump posted that the U.S. now has full market access to Vietnam's economy. market. And this is where currency exchange rates go up. It's through the market. And we're going to show you, Goldilocks shared it this week in writing. We're going to show it to you tonight, how currency exchange rates go up from the market, the global financial markets. This is not the flea market. This is the global financial markets, folks. Okay. Key advancements. Go ahead.
Key advancements include the rollout of a global broker access model, allowing foreign institutional investors to trade through trusted international intermediaries, enhancements to the non-pre-funding framework, and better alignment with international standards on counterparty risk and operational efficiency.
See, folks, in order for Vietnam, in order for the Dong to be recognized, and for Vietnam's stock market to be recognized as an emerging market, they had to meet international standards. The Dong is international, but it did not until now meet international standards to even have the ability to have a higher rate until after the FTSE Russell exception. It didn't exist before until now. Folks, literally, Vietnam now meets international standards for their economy, therefore for the Dong. How long have you been hearing that the Dong was going? For how many years? And it just now met international standards. Go, young lady, these changes.
These changes were evaluated in the March 2026 interim assessment, which FTSE Russell deemed successful. Following the confirmation of Vietnam's reclassification from frontier to secondary emerging market status by FTSE Russell, effective September 21st, 2026, the next crucial steps for Vietnam focus on finalizing technical infrastructure to manage foreign capital inflows and preparing for a potential upgrade from other index providers like MSCI.
Folks, what this does, now that they're accepted by the FTSE Russell, which goes into effect officially on September the 21st, now other global index providers such as MSCI stands for the Morgan Stanley Compute Index. This is where the Vietnam's economy in the Dong will get even stronger. The FTSE Russell is going to provide it with the opportunity for the Dong to get stronger, like a step ladder, up. The MSCI is going to provide it even more to make it even stronger. Go, young lady, these reforms.
These reforms directly influence foreign exchange demand by easing capital entry and improving liquidity, allowing the Vietnamese Dong to be influenced more by supply and demand rather than rigid state management.
Folks, rigid state management was the fact that the Central Bank of Vietnam managed and intentionally devalued the Vietnamese Dong historically. In fact, during the first Trump administration, they classified Vietnam as one of the major countries that devalues the Vietnamese Dong. It was called currency manipulation. There were many countries that were on that list. Vietnam was one of them. But now, in order for Vietnam to even be considered by the FTSE Russell, they had to meet international standards, which included releasing control and the manipulation on the Dong, but to allow the market forces to begin to determine the value of the Dong. But in order for that to happen, the foreign investors had to come in, and they're coming. They've been coming for the last year or so. But the FTSE Russell, now the door is officially open for the Dong to move. But we're going to go into why Goldilocks is saying these reforms directly influence foreign exchange demand, by easing capital entry and improving liquidity. We're going to show you here shortly how this moves the value of any currency up. We're going to go right to the source.
Mm-hmm.
That's in a moment, but let's get onto some more on the FTSE Russell emerging market upgrade. And folks, just so that you're not aware, I know some of you are not aware, when it comes to emerging market upgrade for Vietnam, many of the folks who are in this chat and on this call right now, they're in their wealth management firms have already been reporting to them about emerging market currencies and the possibility of investing in the I wouldn't say the profitability, because that's not, but the opportunity for emerging market currencies. Many of the folks here and their firms, the wealth management firms, have been sharing this with them for months. Before Vietnam got this upgrade, because there's other countries and other currencies as well that are emerging market currencies. Go ahead, young lady.
Starting at the second paragraph, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Vietnam will be added to FTSE Global Equity Indices in 4 phase tranches through September 2027, 10% in September 2026, 20% in March 2027, 35% in June 2027, and 35% in September 2027. This milestone places Vietnam alongside dynamic emerging economies like China and India, unlocking billions in potential foreign inflows from passive and active funds.
Folks, this is, you see 10% September, 20% in March, next year 30. This is the step ladder that I was talking about. However, there is something in the finance world. It is I'm gonna say this because I know how when people see dates that are not today's date, they see a date that's tomorrow or any date after, they immediately begin to think, oh my God, you mean we gotta wait till? Folks, there is a finance terms that allows the movement of money and currencies up front and ahead of time. I'll just say it like that. I'm not gonna go into details. But understand that this is where, and this is why, having relationships with there's a reason why. There's a reason why the wealth management firms and the bankers have been informing our members of what's coming, and they're ahead of it. They wouldn't be doing that if they didn't know what's coming. So when you see dates of milestones of what's going to be achieved, this is like, and this I don't want to lecture you, but I want you to think of a mindset. If a woman is pregnant and the expectations is that she'll have a baby in 9 months, are you going to complain? Oh, I gotta wait for 9 months? Come on now. Folks, you have to, that anxiety comes from expectation, and I get it, I understand it. But just like a mother and she's preparing for the birthing of her child in 9 months, most likely she's going to do some prepping. Her and the father may start buying baby clothes ahead of time, getting the room prepared ahead of time. Or they just going to wait for the baby to arrive and then do these things. Many of you are waiting for the birthing of currencies to begin to move, and you're not even preparing yourselves. That's so unfortunate. Go ahead, young lady.
This milestone celebrates Vietnam's market reforms and positions it alongside major emerging economies.
Hmm.
On the Vietnamese dong, the upgrade advances managed gradual liberalization of the exchange rate.
Hold on a second. You got tongue tied there a little bit. I heard you. The upgrade.
Liberalization.
The upgrade, folks, advances managed, meaning the exchange rate, to manage the exchange rate by the central bank. Gradual liberalization, meaning the gradual letting of the exchange rate go. Gradual liberalization of the exchange rate. This is releasing the rate so that the market determines the rate. Many of the firms already know. See, the upgrade into the FTSE Russell is a way for the international firms to get ahead of the retail markets, meaning the international firms already knew a year in advance that this was going to happen with Vietnam. This is why they prepared themselves. This is just how the finance industry works. This is not something that, oh, they don't want us to be a part of, the little man. Not, no, it's not even about that. This is just how the global financial institutions, your major banks, this is how they operate to prepare for what's to come ahead of everyone else. It's just how the integrity of the global finance market works. So, the reason why that Vietnam will manage the rate of the dong in a step-laddered approach, this is why Goldilocks is always said and shown in writing by the IMF that Vietnam will float their exchange rate. This is the mechanism right here. You remember that report by the IMF, Peculiar Ram?
Yes, I do.
Does this now make sense to you when it talks about the step ladder approach of the dong floating up? Because of what
Absolutely.
and this report from the IMF, folks, was last year on what Vietnam was going to do. And here we are.
Yeah.
The upgrade allows it to happen. Continue, young lady, because it actually talks about free floating. Next, go ahead.
Yep. Okay. While greater foreign capital will increase the role of supply and demand, the State Bank of Vietnam will retain oversight for stability.
Meaning oversight of the exchange rate. This is managing the exchange rate. They're going to let it go. They have to let it go. I'm glad I said that because I'm thinking about not only do they have to let the Vietnamese dong go, they have to let it go for one because of the tariffs. The tariffs that they agreed upon and negotiated with the Trump administration includes exchange rate change, because the tariffs force countries to stop relying on the US dollar for trade and to begin to utilize their own currencies in trade, like the dong instead of the US dollar, like the dinar when they get to the World Trade Organization instead of the US dollar, like every other currency in their own every other country in their own currency instead of the US dollar. The US dollar has been the dominant currency in trade throughout the world for the last so many decades. That's why it's called the world's reserve currency. But that is going away.
Okay.
And this is why we're going to go right back here to currency revaluation. How will Trump do it? Through weakening the dollar. No country wants to hold on to a weak currency in trade. The dollar's getting weaker, forcing countries to now rely on their own currencies. The dong, the dinar, so forth and so on. Okay, young lady, you can continue.
Full free floating by pure market forces remains a longer term goal. The move also supports progress toward potential MSCI inclusion as early as June 2026 and full emerging status around 2027. Vietnam's authorities called it a significant milestone for deeper global integration.
The dong will have deeper global integration, is what they're basically stating, because the dong, it's been international, but it wasn't meeting international standards. It will now, through the FTSE Russell, the Vietnamese dong will be able to integrate further into the global banking system. And as a result of that, the dong creates more demand. And the demand is what moves the rate up. Not a flip of the switch. That is not finance. That is not global finance. That is fantasy. Never Never Land. There's a lot of fantasy. And in Never Never Land, where you hear all of these different terms, all of these different dates, rates. But in Never Never Land, it's the land of make believe. In the finance world, facts land, rates move from supply and demand. And we're going to show you. You don't have to take our word for it. And again, this is why so many people here are prepared, have been prepared for months, some over a year, with the banks, because the banks know what's coming. And these folks have prepared in advance, knowing the baby is going to be born. The rates changing is the birth, but folks are getting prepared. Not waiting for the birth of the child, not waiting for the birth of the rate to show up on Forex. Because by the time that happens, there are those that have been way ahead of you who have connected to the actual banking institutions that are involved with the RV. Because that's how the finance world works. This is why also so many people have unfortunately gone to banks, called or gone in person, said things that they should not have said, unwillingly, not knowing, and that's okay. Because of the things they've heard in Never Never Land. But when you have the facts to prepare yourself, it empowers you at the banks.
Mm-hmm.
You and your banker, y'all go to malls together, shopping together, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
y'all email and talk. His wife wants to know who's this peculiar ram he talking to, that he's going to give the same perks as you, because he told you that his wife has currency, and when it's time to exchange, what's he going to do when it's time for, what is he going to do with his wife? Is he exchanging too, or just his wife? Well, he's a part of it, right? Did he?
Well, yeah, it's going to be him and his wife, but I did tell him that I wanted the same exact treatment that he gives his wife when she goes in exchange. I'll be number 2, right behind her. But yes, he said he's going to take really good care of me. Good. Absolutely.
Excellent. Now let's go more on the FTSE Russell, and then you have to go ahead.
Skipping down to in summary.
Oh,
that was next.
Yeah, if you could read the first paragraph, then go down to summary.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, it is possible for the Vietnamese dong to appreciate, rise in value in the period between the recent FTSE Russell confirmation, April 2026, and a potential MSCI upgrade or watch list decision.
Boom. Yes, Goldilocks is saying it is possible for the dong to appreciate or to rise in value in the period between the FTSE Russell confirmation, which was this month, and the potential MSCI upgrade or watch list decision. This is why I was saying, folks, the finance world, although dates are out in the future, the way the finance world works, because they know what's coming before it's coming, they get prepared ahead of time. Why are you not getting prepared ahead of time? Now you can skip down to the summary, my good lady.
Okay. In summary, yes, a rise in V&D value is possible due to anticipation-driven inflows and improved investor sentiment following the FTSE confirmation, especially if MSCI signals positive movement soon after. However, currency moves depend on multiple macroeconomic factors, and the state bank actively manages the exchange rate to maintain stability.
Oh, this reminds me of something that I was going to say and I forgot. But you just read this and it reminded me, folks. When it comes to the exchange rate of the Vietnamese dong and how it has the opportunity and the ability to move, not only just from the tariffs negotiations and Vietnam reducing their reliance on the U.S. dollar, but to use the dong. But also because of the FTSE Russell and the upgrade, it allows institutions, international institutions, which are the wealth management firms, to lock in contracts, not contract rates. Again, that's never land. I'm talking about exchange. I'm talking about currency exchange rate contracts. Many of our members have them already because these firms know what's coming. So this allows the firms in the finance world to, I don't want to give a technical term on this call, but just know there is
Like a forecast.
yes, and it's called a yes, yeah, it is. And you almost made me say it, but because
Oh,
I don't want the term to be thrown out in Dinar land
gotcha.
and people,
Gotcha.
you know how things we say just gets used
Mm-hmm.
and people, but um,
Yeah.
it's front loading. It's front loading. It's I'll just use that term.
Mm-hmm.
It's front
Mm-hmm.
loading, and you all just know. And this is why Peculiar Ram, with you and many other members, that your wealth management firms are already locking in with you because this is what they do on the. It's not something that it's only. I'll just say it's only something that institutions can legally do, but they can do it knowing what's coming, and they can lock in contracts with their clients, and that's what's happening with many of you already. So just know
Yeah.
that I'm not going to go into too much detail. Go ahead. You can continue.
Yeah. The period ahead could see heightened volatility around these milestones, but the overall trajectory remains positive for Vietnam's integration into global markets.
See now, folks, the dong will be now integrated into the global markets, unlike it's never happened. It never happened before with the dong. Although the dong has been international, it was never integrated into the global markets the way that it will now. And I forget who it was that asked the question about the dong in the chat earlier, but this should answer that question. All right, all right, all right. And I think I know you have to go, right?
Yes, I'll be in the chat.
Okay, thank you so much, my love. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yes, indeed. Sniper, let's go. We're gonna go into Venezuela, and then if She-Hulk, if you're here, if you can drop the link to the Telegram room for Millionaire Q5P, because Millionaire Q5P is going to share his bank story tonight. If you can, She-Hulk, if you're still here, if you can do that, thank you so much. Sniper, you ready?
Yes, sir. Good
All
evening.
right, good evening, folks. We're gonna get into Venezuela, and then we're gonna show you how Venezuela, Venezuela. If you hold the Bolivar, you're gonna be very excited. What we're gonna show you tonight by Goldilocks. Do. All right, young man, the floor is yours.
Yes, sir. Lifting sanctions on Venezuela's central bank has recently been discussed. It would likely strengthen the Bolivar, or at least slow its depreciation in the short term to medium term.
Now, folks, many probably not aware. Let me just so if you didn't catch this, and what Goldilocks is showing is that right now the U.S. is talking about lifting the sanctions on Venezuela, which this is a process to liberalize, to release the stronghold on the Venezuelan Bolivar. So just think about that. We're going to get into it in more, but just think about that. We're going to touch on this. Go ahead, young man. The primary reason.
Yep. The primary reason is increased inflow and freer circulation of hard currency, mainly the US dollar. From oil sales currently, sanctions and compliance reviews restrict how oil proceeds reach Venezuelan banks and companies, limiting the dollar supply in the domestic financial system. This scarcity pressures the exchange rate downward, more bolivar needed per dollar, and fuels inflation. Removing central bank sanctions would restore a key channel of these funds, boosting dollar availability for imports, reserves, and private sector transactions. Greater dollar liquidity typically reduces depreciation pressure on the local currency. As seen in the past partial relief episodes, however, the effect depends on the factors like the volume on new oil revenue, government fiscal discipline, ongoing political stability under the interim administration, and whether banks fully resume normal correspondent relationships. Long-term appreciation would require broader economic reforms and sustained production growth.
Boom. U.S. sanctions, relief on Venezuela's central bank could bolster the Bolivar. Here we go. Let's go.
The United States is weighing the removal of sanctions on Venezuela's central bank, a step that could unlock billions in oil sales proceeds and ease the flow through the country's financial system. Under current restrictions, even funds already directed to Venezuela, such as about $1 billion in controlled oil revenues, face delay reaching private companies due to rigorous compliance checks by international banks.
Mm-hmm.
This bottleneck has constrained dollar liquidity, exacerbating pressure on the bolivar and contributing to volatility. Lifting the central bank sanctions would restore a critical hard currency channel, allowing more proceeds to circulate freely for imports, reserves, and domestic transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Analysts expect this to reduce depreciation risk and help stabilize the exchange rate in the near term by alleviating dollar scarcity.
Now, folks, the sanctions they're looking to remove from the Venezuelan Bolivar. There is no way a country can revalue their currency while a country is sanctioned. Folks, I want you to really pause for a moment and think. I really want you to think, not with your emotions, but if a currency is restricted, there is no way that it can revalue. Sanctions are restrictions. Just think, the United States has restrictions on the Bolivar, and a switch will just be flipped and bypass those sanctions and damage the relationship and the trade flows of the United States and every other country around the world. Does that really make sense to you, folks? That's like if there were sanctions on Iraq. That wouldn't be possible. Iraq doesn't have sanctions. There's only one last restriction that Iraq has on the dinar, and that's through the oil revenues, which goes to the Federal Reserve Bank in New York. That's it. But just think, I really want you to think, if you have multiple countries, let's name them. Let's say Venezuela and Iraq. If those countries had sanctions, there is no way that a revaluation of those currencies could occur while those countries are in sanctions. Iraq doesn't have them. Venezuela does. But just think, if you have multiple countries with sanctions, meaning they're blacklisted in that banking industry. So, for example, if a country like Venezuela has sanctions, that means the United States has partners like China, like Japan, like Mexico, like other countries that they do trade with. Do you think the United States would be okay with other countries that they do trade with doing trade with a country that they have sanctions on? That's not how the finance industry works. So you must begin to think in a critical manner right now. If a country has sanctions, how in the world could a switch be flipped, bypass those sanctions, and that currency revalue? Go ahead, young man.
Yes, sir. The move aligns with broader U.S. efforts to engage in Venezuela's interim government following political shifts, including targeted oil sector licenses. While not a full sanction rollback, it could mark a significant step towards normalizing financial operations and supporting economic recovery. Through success hinges on effective implementation and complementary reforms.
Mm-hmm.
Complementary reforms would very likely need to include structural changes to achieve a sustained appreciation or even a durable stabilization of the Bolivar exchange rate beyond the short term to medium term.
I'm going to read this for y'all again. I want you to really think about this. These are reforms would very likely need to include structural changes to achieve a sustained appreciation, meaning the appreciation or the rise in the value of the Venezuelan Bolivar, or even a durable stabilization of the Bolivar exchange rate. These reforms, folks, are now possible because because of the talks of the sanctions being removed from the Bolivar. And I know many of you thinking now, like, wow, this is new. You didn't know that Venezuela had sanctions, but you know now that the sanctions are being talked about to be removed. And this is how the reforms kick in. Iraq already implemented the reforms. Vietnam already implemented the reforms. We've shown that to those who've been following Goldilocks for a while over the last year and a half, 2 years. Now Venezuela doing the same thing. To raise a country's currency value, go ahead.
To raise a country's currency value, structural changes should focus on lowering inflation, raising interest rates, enhancing political stability, and improving the trade balance. Key structural improvements include fostering high economic productivity, implementing tight fiscal discipline to reduce debt, and promoting exports over imports to boost demand for the currency.
This is powerful, folks. So you're going to see this is how the currency exchange rate goes up. We're going to show you in a little bit, right to the source. But key structural improvements include fostering high economic productivity, implementing tight fiscal discipline to reduce debt, and promoting exports over imports to boost demand of the Bolivar. The sanctions doesn't allow them to do that. Now removing the sanctions, it will allow them to do that now with the Venezuelan Bolivar. And that reminds me, now I'm going to show you. We're going to go right to an international firm. But real quick, 1 second. I got to see something real quick. Did millionaire Q&5, you should be in the Telegram room. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you, She-Hulk, for dropping the link. Now, folks, we're going to go right to one of the major international firms. And this is actually one of the links. This link right here that Goldilocks is sharing about currency exchange rates. Right here. You see it? About exchange rates. What drives exchange rates? I'm going to give you a quick rundown. Exchange rates are constantly moving based on supply and demand. But what? Why do exchange rates change? The rising of value of a country's currency versus others may be an indicator of improving economic health. Now let's get to this right here on exchange rates. If you want to know how exchange rates move up, you're about to see it in writing. And these are terms that you've heard a few minutes ago. And this is from HSBC, which is one of the top 3 international firms. Absolutely 1000% involved. I'll just say that. Right here. Higher interest rates can increase a currency's value, which can attract more overseas investment. This is where the investors, again, coming into Iraq, coming into Vietnam, coming into Venezuela now once these sanctions are removed. The inflows, because it creates demand for the dong, creates demand for the dinar, the bolivar. I'll continue. This means more money can come into a country and potentially higher demand for the currency. Higher demand for the currency, folks, creates a higher rate. Now, one of the firms is telling you how currency exchange rates go up and move. Trade. A country's trading relationship with the rest of the world can also affect its currency. Why do you think it's the importance of Iraq to gain full accession into the World Trade Organization? Because it connects Iraq and the dinar to the rest of the world. A country's trading relationship with the rest of the world can also affect its currency. Countries that export more than they import, known as a trade surplus, while typically have stronger currencies than those with trade deficits. Countries that export more than they import, known as a trade surplus, will typically have stronger currencies than those with trade deficits. Trade deficit. Where have we seen that at? Where have we seen trade deficits? Right here in writing. Currency revaluation is likely to be a priority for some members of a potential second Trump administration, mainly because of the viewpoint that an overvalued dollar contributes to the trade deficit. Folks, you are seeing in writing how the RV occurs. You're not hearing how the RV occurs. You are seeing it in writing. It's through trade. This is why Goldilocks has always said, watch the water. Currency valuation happens on the water through trade. How do currencies move? How do currency rates move? Trade. Now let's get down to market expectations. Remember, market economy, like Vietnam being their economy being upgraded to an emerging market access. When President Trump when he posted on Truth Social the negotiations with the tariffs in Vietnam, the U.S. now has full market access to Vietnam. When Iraq is included into the World Trade Organization, the dinar will have market access. This is where supply and demand determines it. Market expectations, take into account the above factors, play a big part in exchange rate fluctuations. But an unexpected interest rate cut or increase could have a more pronounced effect on exchange rates. Folks, this is how currencies move. Facts over feelings. Now, we're going to get into one last touch on exchange rates, and that is from one of the major financial institutions involved with the RV. Venezuela is working on, now this is key as well. Venezuela is now reconnecting to international correspondent banks. I'll explain what those are and how this connects to Bolivar through the global banking system unlike it's ever done before. Go, young man.
Yes, sir. Venezuela is working on reconnect to correspondent banking systems via its private banks at partial sanctions release.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to continue now?
Yeah, before you continue, what I wanted, folks, correspondent banks, for those of you who have been following Goldilocks, and you've seen from the Central Bank of Iran, I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna ask you all, tribe. There's a certain country that Goldilocks showed from a country's central bank that they connected to international correspondent banks in the summer of 2024. Type into the chat, what country is that, folks? I want to see if you all remember. What country was that? What country? Go, young man. You can continue because I know the tribe definitely knows. You've seen it. You've seen it in writing. A specific country that connected. You laughing because you know I'm talking about, Sniper. This country connected. Folks, what correspondent banks are. Let me explain what correspondent banks are so you know the significance of this. Correspondent banks, they're international banks that deal in foreign currency, all foreign currencies that move around the world, that move through Forex every day, almost $10 trillion per day in foreign currency moves through international correspondent banks. These are the international firms that many of you have relationships with. But in order for a third world country like Venezuela, Iraq, or any third world country that did not have those banking connections before to the world, they need sort of like a mentor. I'm just not, think of it electronically. They need an international bank that already does the transactions in foreign currency throughout the world. That country, like Iraq or Venezuela, needs to connect their banking systems to the international correspondent bank so that Venezuela can now connect to the international banking system. The international correspondent bank already has the connections to the international banking system. They already exchange and trade and transact foreign currency in the trillions daily. So in order for Iraq to be able to do so, they're not just going to overnight be able to connect to all these international banks throughout the world. They need an intermediary. A bank that is an intermediary to do so. That is the international correspondent banks. Where the international correspondent banks connects Iraq, Venezuela, or any other country that needs to connect to the international world and the international banking system. It's the international correspondent banks that does it. It's all done electronically, folks. Go, young man. Venezuela's efforts to reconnect.
Yes, sir. Venezuela's efforts to reconnect to correspondent banking. In early 2026, following Maduro's removal, Venezuela's interim authorities allocated $300 million in U.S. licensed oil revenues held in Qatar accounts to 4 large private banks. Each received about $75 million to sell dollars on the local foreign exchange market for imports. These banks, which retain some of the existing correspondent relationships abroad, are using these ties for cross-border liquidity and payments.
Sniper, I know you know the answer. Folks, cross-border. Sniper, tell folks, what are cross-border transactions?
That is foreign exchange currency. That's just exchanging of currencies. That's it. One currency to the next. That's cross-border. So if I have the USD,
Mm-hmm.
and or if I have the IQD and I want to exchange it in for my USD, that's
Mm-hmm.
a cross-border transaction.
That's a cross-border transaction, foreign currency exchange. So now Venezuela through the correspondent banks will be able to connect cross-border. They weren't able to do this before. This is the releasing of the sanctions. It's not done yet. It's not done yet. They're in discussions now. See, you folks, you got to think of just the beginning of this year, around January, is when President Trump had Maduro removed from Venezuela. The president, former president of Venezuela. Now here you have months later, they're talking about removing sanctions. Just to remind you, folks. Just to remind you. Currency revaluation is like to be a priority for some members of potential second Trump administration, mainly because of the viewpoint that an overvalued dollar contributes to the trade deficit. Folks, this is how it works. This is how the RV occurs. This is how the revaluation of currencies move on the water. That's it. Appreciate you, Sniper. Now, what I'm going to do real quick. Did I miss anything, Sniper? You're good, right? That's it. You're good. Now.
Yeah, I believe that's it.
Okay. Now, folks, correspondent banks. For those of you who don't know, here it is in writing. Iraq. From the CBI directly. We've been showing this since the operations carried out by the banks operating in Iraq depend heavily on the confidence of international correspondent banks. In the Iraqi banking sector, we emphasize the need to be careful to adopt the official channels of this bank to know the latest news and to convey incorrect news, blah, blah, blah. But it's about, such as exposure of some Iraqi banks to international sanctions and others. Folks, this is directly from the Central Bank of Iraq. They've been connected to the international correspondent banks in order to prepare for the dinar to go international. And here you have Venezuela now doing the same thing. Hope that makes sense to you. To you all. Now let's go. Now we have a guest in the building. Okay. I'm going to be very real quick for Millionaire Q5P. If you can raise your hand, I'm going to come to you. Folks, this young man is going to share his bank experience that he's had. Millionaire Q5P. I'm not sure if you are in the Telegram room. Folks, if you are not Millionaire Q5P, I need you to get out of the Telegram room. The Telegram room is only for guest speakers. I gotta say this. I don't know how many times I say this on every call, and some of the same people are in the Telegram room. It is for, if you're not a guest speaker, I'm gonna ask you politely to not be in the Telegram. I'm gonna ask. Okay, so Stingray, come on, beloved. Marcia Enriquez, please get out of the Telegram room. Very Sanders, I asked you earlier. Please. All right, folks. Please. I've said please 1,000 times. I said it before. So, Millionaire Q5P, if you can raise your hand. You're going to come on and you're going to tell us about what your experience with your bankers. Okay. Did he join in the Telegram room? Millionaire Q5P, people are ready to hear from you. He may not know how to. Okay, so what I'm gonna do? Get some music to kind of hold y'all. Okay, Millionaire Q5P. Raise your hand if you're in the Telegram room so that we can bring you on and people can hear you. Oh, can't get in. You can't get in. Oh, okay. I see you, Millionaire Q5P. You have to pass Rose. You have to pass Rose to make sure that you let Rose know that you're a human, or else Rose is not going to let you in. Try it again. In fact, yes, click the Rose prompts, Millionaire Q5. And then as soon as you are in, I'm going to remove everyone else that's in that baby cakes. Now, you know you should not be in there. Some of y'all know better. I say this every time. I'm going to just start removing folks. When I say remove you, you're actually going to be permanently removed from the Telegram room. Because at this point, in the last 3 calls, I've made it very clear. And I see I've asked people to get out of that room and you're still there. So, all right, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going down the line. I'm just removing y'all. I've asked you. So I asked y'all. Baby cakes, you got. Okay. So I just removed everybody that shouldn't be in there. Just got booted. Tired of being nice. Some people just don't respect nice. Every call. All right. All right. So, Millionaire. Thank you so much, Tribe, for helping folks in the chat. Guiding them all the way. So appreciate it. So appreciate it. We have such an amazing tribe. Y'all are such a blessing to others. We love it. Hey, SFEAJ. You got that right. Brunette Grand Rose is like She-Hulk. Okay, I'm going to see if I can see you trying to get in, Millionaire. We may have to let you get in without you going through Rose, since you, we know you're a human. So we might have to. She-Hulk, is there a way we can just let him in? If not, then we are going to. We may have to have you come on next Saturday, Millionaire. Yes, Alice, I had to do some cleanup. I mean, Jesus Lord. Every call. Okay. Thank you, beloved. All right. Okay. What I would like for one of you, and I know I didn't see Lady Unique. Anyone in the tribe, if you had recent communication with your wealth manager, and you would like to share it, um, we'll bring you on. We can do that. Anyone in the tribe, you've had recent communication and you want to share with the world your communication recently with your wealth managers, or you want to give some pointers and maybe want to take some questions from people, type into the chat, help, that you're willing to help, or share. Type share. You want to share. Type share and we'll bring you on. Type share in the chat. If anyone in the tribe, or when I say tribe, that also means any one of you who, okay, the beautiful Queen Ager, come on into the Telegram room. I know you got something coming up with your wealth management firm. Come on to the Telegram room. Amazing Queen Ager. And you can share with the people. And if anyone has questions, okay, come on, Lady Unique, come on into the Telegram room as a speaker, and we'll get you on. Let's go. Okay. Medbiocum. Oh, Medbiochem. Okay, you're driving right now, but in 2 weeks before you go to Asia, you can share. You got one of the largest wealth management firms in the U.S. Oh, awesome! I love that. All right, Medbio. Okay. Let me know, Medbiochem, and we'll get you on. And you can share. All right. Now we're going to hear from the awesome, amazing Lady Unique. You can unmute, good lady. You can unmute. How you doing?
Well, good. Well, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, young lady. You doing all right?
Yes, I'm is.
have you been offered any more jobs by your wealth managers? I know they all try to leave their wives for you, but have you been offered any new jobs lately?
Just about a couple months ago, a little presentation thing I did, and and the manager was like, that's interesting. What do you do for a living? I said, that's okay.
So tell us, young lady.
Yeah.
You have something coming up this week or Wednesday?
Actually it's on the 29th. My firm, they send me. I get like every other week or once a month or sometimes 3-4 times a month, different updates and invitations to webinars.
Mm-hmm.
And I must say it was long established, but ever since I met with the manager that I have now, he's always been concerned about. He thinks I lied about my age or something. So I had, when I had to prove myself. But anyway, as far as health, that's what, health ways and all that kind of stuff. And I've been on one call before about health, but there was a very special call that they're having on the 29th. And prior to that, I've been on other calls, but he sent me an email and told me to be sure that I saw the latest. He put me on the list for the latest webinar. But this webinar that I have a reserved seat.
Excuse me.
Is it is
Miss VIP?
It is about it's about health and wealth.
Okay.
All right.
Uh-huh.
So he was he's been very attentive as much as he can be until we are liquid, but he's been sharing different things with me. But this particular webinar that's coming up um, they've connected with a particular med firm, and they'll be able to help their uh, clients maintain their health. It's because it's more to, as he puts it, um, there's a lot of health to wealth. so
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
so to help maintain your health during your wealth, and the opportunities um, that will be um, available
Mm-hmm.
at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a side note about how, because of what my little foundation thing that I'm putting together,
Mm-hmm.
on how you may be able to help others after you take care of yourself.
Okay. Got
So
it. Got it.
yeah. So it's a health wealth webinar
Mm-hmm.
that I'm scheduled to take part on Wednesday, the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
But my wealth guy, he made sure that he gave me a heads up it was coming, and then he sent it to me today, the reminder, and then I got the invite, and it said I had a reserved seat.
Ah. Now, what is so that people understand the person you're meeting? What's his title?
He is a financial advisor, wealth manager. He happens to be the vice president in that particular area that I'm in, but
Okay.
he is both. It's all in his title, and he's going to be my lead wealth manager, but he's put together a team for me that I have met some of them, but I'm his client. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm very
Mm-hmm.
fortunate.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be with me on that day when I go for my private um, transaction or
Mm-hmm.
exchange.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But he's met my banker. I've had meetings with them. So again, I'm fortunate, and I'm grateful. Thanks to Wiley and you guys helping me out after that first idiot. But anyway, but yeah, he is a financial advisor
Mm-hmm.
slash wealth manager, and he
Mm-hmm.
is also the VP. But he's also specializes also in retirement. He's got a lot of um, experience in wealth management
Mm-hmm.
and advisors, and connected to quite a few important legal things that I'm requesting to have, that they're going to offer anyway, but due to the stuff that I shared with him in our meetings and stuff like that, he's lined it up for me.
Gotcha. 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 Okay.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing because you you've come such a you've come a long way. Um, and in your relationships are so strong. Your wealth managers keep you in the loop consistently. But you've and it hasn't always been smooth for you. Like you had some little rough patches in the beginning, but we're
Hmm.
so proud of you. So proud of you.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
Thank
proud.
you. I appreciate you guys. You all set me up. I can't fail you. My goodness. Come on now. But also another thing too, I don't think I ever shared with. I think I did once the first time I got it. But also, my bank now has been keeping me updated on their investment processes, and I've
Hmm.
been on a couple of their investor calls, where
Hmm.
investment calls where they speak of the status,
Hmm.
and they do mention about the events of the emerging market.
Hmm.
Um, the only thing is, on these, I can't participate. I can listen, but I
Okay.
because I'm not an active investor,
Yeah.
but because I have that connection, my banker set me up to have access to receive those notices.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Now,
Yeah.
is this the private or is this the private firm or the tier one?
Both.
Ah. Okay.
The bank is the tier one.
Mm-hmm.
The private firm is the wealth management firm. They're private.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
That's my
Mm-hmm.
private phone. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And if you don't mind, I'd like to chime in real quick to the newbies, and I've
Go
seen
ahead,
in the
beloved.
chats
Go ahead, beloved.
uh, people are looking for the 8 steps, want to know what the 8 steps, and
Hold on one
I
second.
swear by the
Uh huh.
yes,
Just so that before you get to that, just so that everyone knows, the 8 steps will be on the website by next Saturday. They should be ready, but everything will be centralized on the website. Go ahead, young lady. You good? I just want to share that before you. Go ahead, Lady Unique.
that's awesome. Yeah, like I would always say to no, no problem. Let's go. Um, Understand. Don't just do. And there's some people like, there she go.
Mm-mm.
Don't
Say
just
it.
do the steps. Read them and understand them so that you know what you're doing,
That's right.
and not just step,
Mm-hmm.
not just do them. Understand them. And that first one is key to get you rocking and rolling,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And you might stumble. That's okay. Dust off the dust and keep on stepping. But I encourage you to please read them. I know you might, okay, so the first is find tier one bank. Oh, Google it. Find out why you need a tier one bank. I know you hear it in the room. I know
Mm-hmm.
Freedom Fighter has
I
said it
love
so
that.
many times,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just sharing with you to please
Mm-hmm.
do your due diligence, because this is your blessing, your future, and an opportunity like this. I don't see that coming in no time soon.
Right.
This might be a once in a century type thing ever done. But please, you guys, pay attention to the 8 steps and follow them, read them, and understand what you're doing. You don't have to go in there being like Superman, know what's going on. You don't know what's going on, but you understand. You have an understanding,
Right.
and you grow and learn from them.
Right.
Okay, I'm done.
No, no, you're good. I appreciate it. Any one of you new folks, any folks that need help, guidance, if you have any questions for this young lady right here, she has multiple firms she's already secured. And as a matter of fact, I don't know which firm, at least one of them knows. I know the tier one knows what she holds because that's the nature of her relationship, that they know. And for the fact, for those of you who may not recognize her voice, this is the young lady who her bank authenticated her currency already.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you
And
have any questions for
that's
her,
how they found.
go ahead.
And that's how they found out what I had, but not how much.
Oh my lord. Okay. Okay. All right. Cheryl Mesner. Did you have a question that you had for Lady Unique? And then Lisa Lee just asked, "What do you mean by tier one bank?" Good question. I mean, let me explain what a tier one bank is. And like Lady
Yes.
Unique just said, you should research, but I'm going to answer so other people know. A tier one bank is a top capital bank, meaning they have the largest capital in the banking system. But you should definitely Google tier one banks. These are the largest banks. Gold in the new banking system will be classified as a tier one asset. Gold is going to back all currencies in the new banking system. Tier one banks are the biggest, most securest, I won't say securest, but biggest banks with the largest capital, meaning money. They're not small mom and pop. They're not medium sized banks. They're top tier banks. Does that help to answer your question, Lisa Lee? And Sherry, did you have a question? Okay, got it. Oh, okay. That answered your question. Okay, got it. All right, excellent. All right. And folks, just so that you know, if you were in the Telegram room, and not a guest. You were removed. The you should be do you just do your due diligence, Cheryl. This is not ask what bank time, but stay away. That bank right there, you need to do some serious due diligence on Wells Fargo. I wouldn't go near that bank if my life depended on it. Okay, you're welcome, Lisa. Okay, Lady Unique, Rex asked if you can elaborate on getting your currency validated. Did you take it in and ask them to? Did they bring it up? What brought about having them validate your currency? Can you answer that?
All right. I will tell you a little history with my bank in summary. Yes, yes, I can. I happened to have, it was another meeting that I was having with my senior banker. And just a little history before that. When I first got into this, I used to go to my bank and talk that other stuff, that other language.
Now,
And
when you say that,
it never worked.
please be more specific? Because people that are new, they're not going to know what you mean by speaking that other language.
All right. I was listening to the other folks on the internet, and I went in there talking about RV, GCR, and Jamie Dimon. And immediately they would look at me funny, and didn't believe what I was saying. But I did at one time. My husband and I used to travel, so I had a little account for foreign currencies where we would exchange currencies to go on travel, not really knowing what we had at that time. So that information was already available to my bank. So time and time, different meetings with my bank for different other things not related to this. So as I got deeper into, since I was following Goldilocks and Freedom Fighter and following notes from Wiley, I was able to start having conversations again with my bank. So I was having a meeting one day with my banker, and I just happened to take my currency with me that particular day. Don't know what made me do it. I just had it in my, and as we were talking, my banker asked me, did I happen to have my currency with me? And I was blown away. I was like, oh, why? Yeah, certainly. So that's what started it by conversation. But this was over time. I never asked for them to validate it. They knew I had currencies from way back because, it was already in my file. That I really didn't realize they had. But that's how that happened. I didn't ask. I just happened to have it with me. And again, it came from over time, and the relationship building with my relationship manager who later was promoted to senior banker. So I guess with that elevation, or whether even with her, or what was going on there with the bank, and then my relationship with them, they asked me. I never asked. So that's how that happened. So it's all key in how comfortable your banker or once you get those relationships established and be able to have conversation is how those things happen for me. Okay, so bottom line, I hope that helps. But I would not go in and ask a banker to validate your currency.
Excellent
Did that
point.
help?
Excellent point. Yep. Rex said, "Thank you, Lady Unique." He gave you a bunch of fire emojis. Okay, Cheryl, this is not asking. I told you, I'm not going. That this is not. This is where you folks. I want to encourage you all. See, this is where a lot of people make the mistake of depending on other people to give you answers. The answers are there for you with your own. This is why it's important. We believe in teaching people how to fish instead of giving you fish. And I say this, Cheryl, Sherry, with the most undue respect and love. Don't don't depend on us to give you the answers, beloved. Thank you, Sniper. You gotta don't rely on people to tell you what bank to go to, what currency to invest in. Because if, God forbid, God takes us out and we're gone, we're not here, you still have to continue on yourself. But the way you'll be able to do that is from your own research, your own knowledge, but to the actual sources, not to people on the internet, not even to us. Even though we give you the sources to get the information, that's where you go to get your answers. So for anyone wanting to know, is it this bank? Should we go to that bank? Should we go to... This is why we don't post banks in the room. We don't tell people what banks. People are not sharing what banks, what firms that they're going to. Two things happen. One, the integrity of the process is damaged, because if these people come on here and tell you the bank that they've gone to and established the relationships, the same thing will happen that's happened traditionally in Never Land.
Yeah.
Where people start to call that bank, blow it up, blow up the phones, damage their relationships, get blacklisted. That happens. 1, 2, even yourself, your privacy is not protected. So I would encourage you folks, don't come here asking for what particular bank. Is this bank, is it that bank good? No, don't do that.
Can I throw something in too real quick?
Yes.
I also would strongly recommend that you what is your plan for what you do when this happens? What are your financial plans?
Mm-hmm.
Is it just to have money?
Mm-hmm.
No. What helps too, when you start having these conversations with your wealth manager, your bankers that you are interviewing with, that you have done the study on.
Mm-hmm.
When you have that kind of conversation with them, that's going to get their attention. They're gonna hear what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
When you go in there talking about, well, see, I'm gonna get this, and so how I'm gonna do this. No.
Mm-hmm.
Sit down and look at what you want to do with what you're getting ready to get, and understand that. That'll help you have that conversation and help you get that relationship. That's very important. Very important. Okay.
That's good wisdom. That's powerful. That's powerful. Yeah, you've earned the right to be able to speak up like that. I mean, of course, because you one of the founding members. You've had your heart broken at one time early with the banks. you did. But now how many bankers do you have locked in?
Mm-hmm.
How many you have?
Yeah. Knock me down, but not out.
Right. How many you have? 2, 3, 4, 7? How many you have?
I haven't told you. I got 3.
3. Okay.
3.
Okay. Yeah, but it always it just wasn't.
To be honest, I have 2 bankers, but I have one that specifically.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Excellent.
Go ahead.
No. All right. So, I just wanted to make sure, because people don't know, people don't know your past and your history with this. So that's all. But folks, and I see if there's any more questions, real quick, type them in the chat, because we're going to start winding down. But if you have any more questions, if you have you have a question for Lady Unique and what she's done, how she's been able to do it, here you have the opportunity. Someone who was just like you in the chat, lost, dazed and confused, screwed up at the banks, as she said, repeating things that was said all over the place. But now she has 3 bankers completely set. She's had her currency authenticated. She was actually offered an advisory board position by one of the major global firms. She's totally set. If you have a question, type your question. We'll get it to her and see if she was willing to answer it for you. If not, we're going to start winding down. Yes, have a plan and an exit strategy. Thank you, Sniper. Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. Oh, let's...
True that.
Yes. We want you all to succeed. We're just sharing the love and passing the blessing of the knowledge and the wisdom. Okay. Goals. That's right. And it's key, folks, when you begin to establish your relationships, you need to have your goals in mind when you're speaking to these people. Absolutely. Absolutely, Rex. Lisa Lee, the 8 steps, the Telegram room, the link will be provided at the end of the call. You'll be able to find the 8 steps there. Or if you want, the website is the central location where the 8 steps and the questions will be there. The Wiley's questions will be there. And you'll be able to have access there as well. Thank you, J Funk. Appreciate you. Oh, Lady Unique, looks like Sean asked the question, did they create a trust account for you? Lady Unique, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, someone
Can
asked.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Someone asked.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes,
So,
I can.
Yes, someone asked, did they create a trust account for you?
Yeah, and I can hear you. Everything is documented for me. They were going to set, I have a trust and everything, and they were going to set the accounts and everything up for me. However, there was going to be a fee, and the advisory and all, and they decided that when I'm ready to go, then everything is set up for me for it to be activated. So it's all in my profile, but it's not an active one, but it's there to say that she's already set up for this.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Probably for the person asking the question, does that make sense to you? And there are other people. Everyone's situation is different. So, folks, there are, for example, Sean, there are members where trust accounts were set up for those members. So, Lady Unique's situation is unique to her. So there are plenty of members who trust accounts were set up for free for them. Yes. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Not about the nail. Excellent advice. Oh, and Tulsa. The purpose of the questions, yes, is for you to send the questions in advance of your meeting. It's a good way for you to get to know them and for them to get to know you. This is all about you building and establishing your relationship, but the questions are not for them to answer and send them back to you. No, it's for you to really get the answers when you're there. But also Tulsa, they met. Thank you, Lady Unique. Perfect. You answered her question. Yes, this is live. Queen, we're here with you.
All
We
right,
can
good.
see
I'm glad to help.
we can see your question. We are live. And so, did that answer your question, Tulsa? But Tulsa, I want to know if you have the 8 steps. All right. All right, folks. If you have any more questions, type them to the chat. Let's get them. Then we're going to start winding down. And folks, for the record, on these Saturday calls, the Telegram room is for guest speakers. Guest speakers. This is how I'm able to organize. This is how I'm able to organize the calls properly. And for those that got booted, you have plenty of opportunities. I even asked tonight several times, and you stayed. Okay. All right, Tulsa, you're welcome. Hey, Industrial B. All right. Excellent question. Gina Lovejoy asked the question, do you advise for or against using a wealth manager who is a close relative? I would highly suggest the best possible move is for someone that is not close. You want to maintain your privacy. Maintain your privacy, Gina. And also, when people that are close relatives, they think they know you, they think they got you figured out, but they also want to be in your business. you privacy, protect your privacy, and also if you have a close relative, you don't have the opportunity to really branch out to establish a relationship with other wealth managers. You want 2 or 3 different options as wealth managers. If you go to just a relative, it can get messy. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. You're welcome, Alice. Alice, you're the one that sparked this idea to start doing the lives. So thank you. The 8 steps will be posted into the link will be posted the Telegram room will be posted into the chat. She-Hulk is going to post them, folks. And the way you find the 8 steps is just type 8 steps in the search bar. Okay, Mimi. And then once the 8 steps is on the website, moving forward, everyone, tribe, I want to make sure I mention this. Once the 8 steps is on the website, it'll be the 8 steps, and of course, along with Wiley's questions, it will only be the website that we're going to direct people to moving forward, because everything will be centralized there.
Okay.
Thank you, Gina. Yes, Carol, the 8 steps, the link to the Telegram room will be posted, and then just type 8 steps in the search bar, and you'll find them. Awesome, Arlene Calderon. Everything will be centralized. That's right, Brunette Grant. It's all his fault that we got the live. All right, folks. Everyone, we send you nothing but love and good vibrations. Goldilocks has already prepared many, many amazing articles and news regarding various news on the RV and countries and currencies next week. And we will be back with you every day on the podcast on YouTube, and then on next Saturday's live. A millionaire. Didn't see your name in the Telegram room at all, so you're gonna have to figure that out. All right, beautiful folks. Everyone have a good night. Be well. Be kind. Everyone have a wonderful evening. Take care.
Good night. Good night.
We'll let the music play and wind down. Everyone have a wonderful night. Thank you, Queen Angel. And of course, the Sniper and Peculiar Ram, as always. Appreciate y'all. And also thank you, Sean, for supporting the channel and the community. We appreciate you. Good night, Cheryl. Good night, Rex. You're welcome, Sherry. Hey, Spirit. Good night, young lady.